Good morning, everybody. Today's episode 10 of Coffee with Raph. Let me ask you a few things. Have you ever been super fired up about an idea, created motivation and inspiration for something, and then waited too long, diminishing your willpower and not taking action at all? This happened to me so many times. I get myself pumped up for something, procrastinate then, or wait just a little bit too long, and then I'm just not pumped up anymore and don't get it done. And even though I know that it is still valid and still has a huge potential to my life, it's just gone. Sometimes it's just gone. And this will be a theme for today's episode as we dig into some wisdom by Jim Rohn. This phenomena is what he calls the law of diminishing intent. Jim Rohn, for a little bit of context, was one of the leading personalities of the self-help and personal development movement in the 20th century. He was the mentor and guru of people such as best-selling author Darren Hardy, Tony Robbins himself, and many, many, many more. His old school staid books are just one quote after another, and it is really motivating and inspiring, and it's kind of funny because it's really quite old school, and I quite like it. I'm excited to get started, but first let's take a look at the summary of today's episode. In part 1, we'll be reading a passage from Jim Rohn's best-selling book titled Leading an Inspired Life. Great book, it's on our reading list. Check out our reading list. And we will dig into this phenomenon mentioned earlier called the law of diminishing intent. Law of diminishing intent. And we'll make sure this will never happen to us ever again. What a pity to waste your ideas and inspirations just because you don't have the right strategies to take action, right? This leads us to part 2, where we will journal about this piece of wisdom and exercise our brain on the law of diminishing intent. Then in part 3, we'll do a visualization exercise like we do every day, so that we get, what we learned today to really deeply sink in within, creating the blueprint inside of our mind so that we can then reproduce them in the material world and start applying them today. And that leaves us to part 4, where we'll do some empowering information so that you can start the day with grit and passion. Last but not least, our guided meditation in part 5 to have a nice calm sense of energy and get ready to start out the day. I hope you're excited, and if so, please put a thumbs up and let's get started. If you're new to this podcast, welcome. My name is Raphael. Every day, Monday to Friday, we do a little morning show here together, creating an extraordinary life one day at a time. We do this with all these exercises by reading some of the greatest books of, from ancient wisdom to modern philosophy, positive philosophy. Then we do some exercises, we journal, we affirm, we meditate together every single day. We also have some free worksheets linked to those episodes so that you have all the exercises and affirmations, so that it's just easier for you to follow along. These episodes are available on YouTube and all podcasting platforms. If you would like to contribute to my caffeine intake, you can buy me a cup of coffee. All the links are down below. And if you're interested in all this, please do consider subscribing to the channel, pressing the notification bell, so that you're alerted every time we post new content. Let's get started today by reading a passage from Jim Rohn's book. I can't articulate today. I don't know what's wrong. Jim Rohn's book, Leading an Inspired Life. A brilliant book. Again, it's on the reading list. I highly recommend that you have a look because it's just quote after quote after quote after quote. It's that good. Anyway, here's the passage. He says, and I quote, "Engaging in genuine discipline requires that you develop the ability to take action. You don't need to be hasty if it isn't required, but you don't want to lose much time. Here's the time to act, when the idea is hot and the emotion is strong. That take action as soon as possible before the feeling passes and before the idea dims. If you don't, here's what happens. You fall prey to the law of diminishing intent. We intend to take action when the idea strikes us, but if we don't translate that intention into action fairly soon, the urgency starts to diminish. And a month from now, the passion is cold. A year from now, it can't be found. So take action. Set up a discipline when the emotions are high and the idea is strong, clear, and powerful. End of quote. So now you understand what the law of diminishing intent is. I'm sure you've experienced this in your personal life, and if you have, please do share that experience in the comments below. I'm interested, and just to get things rolling a little bit. And now that you're consciously aware of what is happening behind the scenes of your own mind, when you procrastinate, remember it. Fired up about something, take action immediately. Maybe taking action simply means writing the idea down and writing in your calendar when you will be working on that action. It can be something very small. It can be a micro action. So usually it is a micro action. And my strategy is pretty simple. When I have an idea, I take a look. Can I do it now? If so, I do. If not, I write it in the folder that I have on all my devices. So I have it on my computer, I have it on my phone, everything is linked up through the cloud. And this folder is called my inbox. And every single Friday at 5 p.m., I take a look at my inbox and I organize my weekend around what I need to do, what actions need to be taken. And then I organize my calendar also for things that are a little bit more medium term, long term, right? And I also have scheduled time where I can act on things that I know I will need time to do so. So usually I plan a block, like a big block of time right after my morning routine. I get up very early, around 3:30, 4, and then I do my little morning routine. I do my meditation, my Wim Hof breaths, my cold shower, I exercise, I journal. And then I do this big block. And this is around 90 to 120 minutes, depending on the day. And so I know that I will have time to take actions on these ideas, because we all have ideas. We just need to get them done during the day, right? And so when can you do it? And even if it's just like 30 or 60 minutes out of your day, when can you plan it? Do it now. Plan out those 30, 60, 90, or 120 minutes, this deep block work, this block of deep work, every single morning. When are you going to do it? My preference would be for you to do it directly after this morning routine, because I hope it's firing you up. Or if after the morning routine a lot of people exercise, then after you exercise or after your shower, take this tiny block when you're fresh, when you know that you have the creativity to take action into these tiny little actions. Okay, so and do it every single day. Then it becomes a routine, it becomes a habit. And then you can get things done. So remember, if you have an idea or if you're inspired about something, take immediate action. And even if it's a tiny action, remember micro actions. And know that these tiny actions, they compound through time. Tiny action plus tiny action plus tiny action can actually make a whole full-grown project. So, do something about it. I know you have some amazing things inside of you. We all do. Nobody's special. We're all made out of the same matter. So, you have this, just get it done. Here's a really good strategy to do it. And don't be that frustrated guy that keeps telling people how many amazing ideas he has. If you don't take immediate action on your ideas, your passion becomes cold, as Jim Rohn puts it. And you don't execute on your ideas when that happens. Not executing on your ideas, basically it's the same as not having any ideas at all. So don't waste your beautiful ideas. Go take action. Do it immediately. And that's the exercise for today. You have a good idea for anything. It can be a business idea. It can be a decoration idea. Anything. Take action immediately, even if it's a micro action, even if it's a planning action, even if it's just writing it in your inbox. Maybe add a tiny little plan in your inbox also. Okay, so let's take out our journals and start our journaling. So that's part 2 for our morning routine here. And I want you to write about an idea you had in the past where you did not follow through. Write that idea down. There was something that you thought about in the past and you didn't follow through. And then write down what you should have done. You should have taken action immediately, but write down what action or mini tiny micro action you should have taken right then and there. And then write down this. Is it too late to heat back up my passion and enthusiasm for that idea? Write down what amazing things could happen if you did take that action. Get yourself fired up. 99.99% of the time when I do this exercise personally with my life coaching clients, it's not too late to go back to that passionate idea. Sometimes they think it's too late, but it really isn't. And even if it is, you can always modulate your idea to make it appropriate to today. And the difference today and before when you didn't take action is that this time you're going to take action now. So either you pause this episode, the podcast, and you close your journal and you get to that first step right now, or you write down your plan and make a scheduled appointment with yourself in your calendar to do it, and make it official. Put it in your real calendar. Write down exactly everything that must be done, and maybe even copy paste what you wrote in your journal now, and just so that you make sure that you're fired up and that you don't procrastinate this time, and you don't let the fire extinguish itself. Okay, so if you need a few more minutes, that's perfectly fine. Just pause the video. But let's continue on our morning routine with today's visualization exercise. Then we'll do the empowering affirmations and finally the meditation. So make sure that you're sitting somewhere where you'll not be disturbed, somewhere nice and calm, where you can close your eyes and do some deep thinking and some meditating also. So close your eyes and think of a time where what we just talked about happened to you. So you had a really cool thought or idea and you procrastinated. You didn't take immediate action, and so the passion of that idea faded out. It became cold. Now it seems like nothing actually happened. I want you to imagine how that felt. How did that make you feel? How did that make you feel about yourself? Does it make you feel a little bit embarrassed? Maybe towards people that you told that idea about, or simply towards yourself. Does it make you feel a little bit sad, actually? Are you frustrated at yourself that you didn't follow through because deep down you know that this had potential? And I hope that it does make you a little bit pissed off. And I am personally when I'm doing this exercise. For me, it's for an app that I imagined and that I really liked. And like most people, I got caught up in the events of life and then I didn't get it done, and now it has a negative place in my mind. So really put some emotion in those visualization exercises so that you make sure that it doesn't happen ever again. And now that you're in this really negative place within your brain, it's important because your brain needs to understand that you should never replicate this behavior ever again. And now he is ready to commit, and you are ready to commit. This will never happen again. If you have a really cool idea, take immediate action. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, maybe you fail. But if you don't try, you will never know. If you don't try, you're on automatic failure mode. If you don't take action precisely because you are scared to fail, then don't be scared. You have already failed. But if you try, well, maybe it will work and maybe not. But you'll learn something and you'll be proud of yourself, and you'll at least gain personal self-respect. let's continue today's routine with our meditation now. Close your eyes if they were not already closed. And let's take some nice, deep, but rhythmical breaths. Are you ready? Let's count 10 breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Starting now. In deep and out. In nice and deep and out. 3. In nice and deep and out. 4, nice and deep in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. 5, nice and deep, nice in through the belly and then out, exhalating all negativities. 6, in nice and deep and out like a wave. 7, nice and deep and swing it out. 8, nice and deep and out. 9, nice and deep and out. 10, nice and deep and out through the mouth. If you make mistake in your count, that's perfectly fine. Now do it by yourself. In and out. And while you continue to do so, feel this burning energy, this calm energy, this panache, this grit, this passion building within yourself. In and out like a wave, in and out like a pendulum, in, swing it out. In with inspiration and out with the stress. In with inspiration and out with the negative feelings. In with the fire and out with the coldness. In with your goals and out with your restrictions. With the rhythm of your breath, you're feeding your soul, your spirit and your mind of all possibilities. Now let go of the focus of your breath. And whenever you're ready, let's take one last deep but slow breath this time in through the nose. And on the exhalation, gently open your eyes. Well done, everybody. Today was a very nice session. It was our first session on Jim Rohn's wisdom. Very exciting stuff. I find his content very inspiring. Check out the book. It's in our reading list. Our reading list is on www.raphaelreiter.com/books. I will link everything down below in the description to this video. If you've enjoyed this video, please do put a thumbs up, subscribe if you've not done so already. If you would like to contribute to my caffeine intake, then I really appreciate it. Everything you need to know is in the description below, and I will see you Monday. Take care. Bye.